The moment the verdict was announced and it was official that Amber Heard had lost, she started to do whatever she could to change the narrative about the case to the world. And although that failed woefully, she's lost again and now she plans to do the exact same thing. But this time the stakes are a little different. So, what's the deal with Amber's camp continuing the battle? It's been a couple of days since the epic fail that was Amber's first interview post-trial was released, and we all know that she spoke like she had big plans for the coming days, especially when it came up that there was going to be a hearing for the concerned parties later during the week. Well, the hearing has finally happened, and I have to say, there were more than a few jaw-dropping moments in court according to the reporters who covered the whole thing. The first and biggest news that was dropped was that Amber was still going to have to pay Johnny the $10.4 million settlement. And if her plan, like she had been claiming, was to appeal, she would still have to put an even increased amount as bond. Talk about tough luck. Am I right? Well, after the judge made the announcement, Amber's lawyer Elaine wasn't very receptive to the news, and reports are claiming that she might be planning to actually fight back.
Asked to file some have some possible a briefing schedule or something to that effect. And she said that Judge Ascarati said that's not going to be necessary. She said you'd basically file your briefs, file your motions, file your appeal. Elaine Bredehoff made it sound like she might want some type of hearing. And the judge, Judge Ascarati, was very no-nonsense as usual, actually more no-nonsense than usual, Jesse. And she basically said, I don't need a hearing on any of this stuff. I've had this case for 18 months and we had a 6-week trial. So she said, if you have a motion, file the motion. It can be decided on the papers. Elaine Bredehoff was also wanting to address this bond that has to be filed by Amber Heard in order to appeal the case. And so she wanted to discuss that as well in a post-trial motion, I should say. And Judge Ascarati basically said, well, you can address whatever you want, but you have to file the bond. And that bond would be the $8.35 million plus 6% interest per year. And the judge basically made no bones about it. If you want to appeal, you have to file that money in order to do so.
Well, many people weren't particularly surprised that Elaine wants to fight this, given that she was still blaming Depp after the court had vindicated him of Amber's claims. But even with all of the damage she managed to do to the man's reputation via all of her interviews, it's pretty surprising that she believes there is a way they get out of this on top. If their time, all the way from the beginning of this trial up until now, has taught us anything, it is that Johnny will probably always emerge on top, not only because he's telling the truth, but also because the people have his back, which is kind of the opposite in their case, given that they already called the judge and jury names on interviews only about a week ago. No one really knows what Elaine and Amber have in the works in their bid to fight this, but whatever it is, if it doesn't actually involve getting Johnny's money, there's a pretty good chance that they are wasting their time. And several people who also agree to this view have been talking a lot on social media lately. One of them wrote, "The judge has had enough of H and her team. Look at what they have been doing, disrespecting the jury, the judge, and attacking Johnny. She's sick of their shit." Another user who equally agreed that Elaine and Amber have taken things too far wrote, "I think Elaine takes cases like this because she thinks they're easy with the use of #MeToo and exploiting real victims of DV. Therapist notes or hearsay. Recordings of Amber Heard beating Depp are forever. Elaine and Amber should have never publicly attacked the court system. Personally, I don't think they have much of a fight left in them, but don't just take it from me. Tell me what you also think about this whole thing in the comments section."